Honestly, the workout that I give people right now is 15 minutes. 15 minutes twice a week. And I'll give you the structure. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. So basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna separate half your body into one day and then half your body into the other day. If you do this really well, you will need 7 days to recover from the workout. And recovery is not being sore. Recovery is whether you actually increase the weight or not. So whether you actually got better.
I'm Junaid Ahmed, host of Hacks and Hobbies podcast and a digital presence advisor at HumbleZone. This episode is brought to you by Home Studio Mastery. I launched a consultation and course program to help podcasters and course creators to create a space in their homes that will reduce the friction of creating content and appearing their best when showing up on camera. The pandemic gave us a lot of issues, but this one is here to stay. We're now so much closer to our audience thanks to video becoming more popular and affordable. I help guide folks who want to create Hollywood-worthy studios to not only capture great content, but also build more confidence, more authority, and be more comfortable in front of the camera. If I can do it, you can too. And with my help, you can do it faster. So if you'd like to learn more, visit homestudiomastery.com and how you too can create a home studio that brings out your personality, professionalism, and possibilities. Thank you for tuning in to Hacks and Hobbies with your host, Junaid. We're visited by our amazing guests coming from all walks of life who want to learn their story, their struggles, and their journey on how they got to where they are today. So stick around. Lanell Beckles runs Occam's Fitness, a way to help entrepreneurs and influencers look and feel better without daily workouts or missing their favorite foods. He founded the company based on his own entrepreneurial journey and the challenges of staying healthy. He was able to come up with a system based on your own biology that allows you to maintain lean muscle, lose belly fat, and still eat cookies, which is one of Lanell's favorite food. Lanell has worked with athletes of all levels, from Olympians, professional athletes, and even collegiate athletes. He has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help anyone get a body they can be proud of. He lives just outside of Austin. Lanell, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely, man. The goal is to have fun, and that's why this podcast is called Hacks and Hobbies.
And I love to hack a lot of things. I'm a shortcut specialist, probably too much. I could definitely talk about the hobbies.
I love it because life's too short to go the long route. But sometimes you got to do the boring stuff to make it all make sense. So you want to interject?
You hit it on the head really bad. I think this is the year that it showed me that I have to just do the boring stuff, regardless of how much I want to shortcut everything. And I can get story on story to let everyone know where I started.
I love it. All right. So we're going to, like every other episode, we'd like to start at the origin story. Now, thank God for Marvel Cinematic Universe for making the origin story a well-known term that anybody can understand. It literally says it in the two words. But regardless, I want to jump in and Lanell, talk to us about how you got started and what was the first experience for you as an entrepreneur?
So the first experience, I've been a trainer for coming up on 16 years, a fitness trainer for 16 years. So I've been in the game for a while. And most people in the fitness industry, this was way before becoming an online expert was a thing, wanted to own a gym. They wanted to have a good clientele, or they wanted to work with professional teams. And I had that same dream.
Yeah.
It wasn't until after I started my own personal training business that my schedule was booked from 6 a.m. all the way to 7 p.m. that I said, there's no possible way to scale this. I have to change it. And at that point, I said, okay, what are my alternatives? Because I knew that in order to get away from trading my time for money, I would have to figure out a way to scale my time. And that's when I started to really dive in deep into online marketing. And I first got bit by the bug way back when Tim Ferriss wrote his book, The 4 Hour Work Week.
4 hour work week.
Oh my God, that one just like that one opened my eyes and let me know that we were actually in the Matrix and said, I don't want to work anymore. I want to do this. And that was the point when my ex-wife at the time, or my wife at the time, said, that doesn't make sense. You have to work a job. I was
Yeah.
like, screw that. You don't know what you're talking about. And I was getting into the habit of trying to figure out, okay, what are the ways to shortcut this? How can I get from like
Mm,
0 to 1 million as fast as possible?
yeah.
Sad part is there is no shortcut. It is a lot of the back end stuff that nobody sees. I think my friend Adam Lyons, someone that I adore and respect, has
Mm,
said all overnight successes have gone through years of frustration. And
yes.
it is very much so with me and with a lot of the other entrepreneurs out there. Talking to you
Mm,
about your podcast and what you were doing, I was like, yep, that makes perfect sense.
yeah. And what's funny is that I was just thinking about this the other day, and everybody's looking for success. And if you notice, the first three letters in the word success is actually suck. So it's gonna
There's
suck a lot before you get to the success part.
It is very much like that. But I'm gonna cut to the story, to
Go
the
ahead,
good
man.
stuff, real quick. I got involved with Adam Lyons, who was one of the keynote speakers at Traffic and Conversions. And
Mm,
Adam is like a guru marketer. If you haven't heard him yet, you will, just because he's a step by step, systematic type of progress person. He knows exactly where he's going and he knows the steps he's going to take. And within 1 to 2 years, he's gone from who the heck was that guy to like, why is he the number one expert? That's how
yeah.
good Adam is. I got into his group by purchasing his product. He was doing business coaching and a lot of stuff that he was saying was really good. So I
Mm,
was getting some results with that, but never to the point that I was starting to make really good money. He gives me a call one day, like, hey, you do fitness coaching, right? I was like, yeah, I do fitness coaching. Do you want to train me? For anybody out there who might be watching this, who may be a fitness trainer or who has ever looked up to someone who has really helped you and you look at them like an idol, this is what I thought about of Adam. I was like, oh my God, this guy is asking me for fitness advice. Instantly, I want to be like, yeah, I'll do it for free because this guy is so cool.
right.
He's way more than his business coaching. He has a background that's really interesting and I just really
Mm,
enjoyed him. But like anybody that understands the movement of money and how money
mm,
flows, he was like, hell no. Well, I don't know if I can curse on here. It's like, hell
yeah.
no. You're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
So he pays me, and we end up developing a system, which is now my business, where he was able to get some really good results. The funny part is he paid me, but he barely used me. So it was the client that does exactly what you say,
Mm,
gets amazing results, but you feel like you don't deserve his results because he called me like twice a month. He would
mm,
call me up, hey, can I do this XYZ? And I'd be like, okay, what are you talking about? Oh, I did this and this. Oh yeah, you could do that. Okay, cool. I'll talk to you later. Click. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, where the hell is this guy?
yeah.
And all of a sudden he gets some amazing results and he starts posting all about it and
Mm,
I'm included, and so now his network knows who I am, and all of a sudden people start flowing into my network,
yeah.
and all of a sudden he calls me out of the blue and, hey, are you coming to my event? Because he was doing an event. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Make sure we meet before the
Mm,
event. I want to talk to you one on one. I'm a pretty intuitive person. I kind of piece things together. So I'm like, it sounds like he wants to partner with me, but I have no
mm,
idea why he would partner with me.
yeah.
So this is the entrepreneur mindset where we're good at what we do, but we don't have the belief that we're good at what we do.
Yeah.
And so I get to meet him. He's a super warm guy, super genuine, really personal, and he does exactly what he said he's going to do. Hey, I want to take part of your business and help you scale, and this is going to be amazing. The only caveat is that you have to move to Austin. And at the time,
Okay.
I was living in Maine, USA. Most people don't know where Maine is because it's almost like
It's way
almost,
up in the northern eastern, right?
it's Canada.
It's
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 almost
Canada's
Canada.
cousin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost Canada. People either say you're French Canadian or you're a Mainer, and that's it. So I had to move across the country down to him,
Mm,
and within a month, we blew up. We went I went from making about 87,000 in a year, all the way to making 128,000 in probably 2 weeks, all because of him. And for any entrepreneur out there who is like, man, that sounds amazing, it is incredible, but it led me to say, okay, I'm on the fast track. But the fast track is not so much about tactics, it's about a lot of
Right.
mental stuff. And the mental stuff, the boring stuff, as you say, is what I had to really learn. I had to learn the structure, I had to learn the systems, I had to learn to put things in place. I had to
Yeah.
learn how to duplicate myself without increasing my budget. So I could
Hmm.
easily pay some people to do it, but then I have to go and pay them, or I can find systems to make sure that they're all getting done. So when you talk about the hero journey, that
Hmm.
really is the hero journey to where I am now. To now,
Yeah.
I'm at the point where I'm slowly making progress where I start to see things stacking on top of each other.
No, that is beautiful, man. There has to be somehow that he discovered you, right? There was probably somehow that he discovered you. Maybe you were following a lot of his content, maybe you're retweeting his tweet. What was that like?
It's really so. Here's a secret. I'll let you know. Adam used to be the best dating coach in the world, and
Okay.
at the time, I was working a lot, but not really having success in a relationship.
Mm.
I had been divorced for about, I want to say, about 2 years.
Okay.
And I was going in and out of relationships, but nothing really solid. And I wanted to meet someone. And I
Yeah.
remember going online and looking at what's the dating world like. And I found Adam and started
Mm.
just consuming his content because he had good results, he had great stories, he was really personable, all the things that I expected when I saw him. He
Yeah.
was even in his content. And so that's when I got into his world. I started consuming his dating content, and then I found his business content, and that was the progression.
Wow. See, and as you got into his program, he learned about more about you because when we enter any program, we showcase on what we are an expert in.
Huh?
And so he's, okay, you're good at this. Let me, wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah. No,
That's pretty
he
amazing.
that's Adam. Like, he is very particular about the people that he brings into his world. He wants other people to succeed. He's the kind of benevolent entrepreneur that
Yeah,
really wants people to do well, and he's willing to give his time. And he partners with people who he knows he can help. And I happen to be one of those people that just
that's me.
jumped in and said, "Of course, I want to partner with him."
So how long? So you've been a trainer for 16 years and you met Adam Lyons probably a few years ago
I met
and this all
him.
happened.
It's probably been about 2.5 years
Okay.
since I came into his world.
Okay.
Probably 14 years, and before that, I was doing a bunch of training. So
Mm.
I had been a I had been a trainer for Olympians. I've been a trainer for professional athletes. I've trained a lot of collegiate athletes, a lot of
Mm.
collegiate teams. I've trained type A business execs. I've trained
Okay.
children.
Yeah.
The gamut is, I've got the
It's
whole gamut.
it's the whole gamut. And so working with Adam and building the system, what are some key takeaways that come up for you that help you stand out besides the marketing?
Ooh, that's a really good question. The big thing that helps me stand out is understanding the market. And it's
Hmm.
not marketing. The more I've started to really dive deep into how to get people to buy, how to get people to do things that they know is good for them, but they inherently are not really interested in doing.
Yeah.
The more I'm starting to understand that it all comes down to emotions and language. And Adam is really good. The big thing that I've picked up outside of just the systems is how to talk to the right people and
Mm.
how to find the language to make sure it's catered specifically to the way they want to be communicated with and the way they
Yeah.
want to buy. And it's actually so funny because just before this, I actually did a quick webinar with one of my clients who wanted to share with his group how to do email marketing. And I've been writing emails from Adam for a while now, and
Yeah.
because I've been doing so well, this guy wanted me to share how to write really good emails. And I did that, and it's helped me out in terms of how to do my social media, how to make sure when I'm talking to the right people that I
Yeah.
say the right things. It's very easy for me to go into these conferences amongst
Mm.
entrepreneurs and business owners, and if I say I'm a trainer, they instantly shut down
Yeah.
because most people don't really care about a trainer. But as
Mm.
soon as I start talking about, I help people optimize themselves without working out on a daily basis, now they go, wait a minute, how do you do that?
How did you do that?
Yeah, how do you do that? And that's the first question that you want people to ask. So I'm learning how to use language better to understand people and to
Yeah.
communicate with them better. And also, it's about the podcast too. Learning how to podcast, learning how to do content, being more social. And as an introvert or as someone who doesn't really put himself out there enough, this is
Hmm.
all things that I've had to learn. This is the growth process of
Yeah.
an entrepreneur.
I love that. Thank you so much for diving into that and sharing what are the inner workings on what enabled you to get over that hump, because sometimes it's like you're just pushing that rock up the hill and it's just not budging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've it's so funny that this happens right now. I don't know if your listeners
Listeners.
are users, sorry, my bad. Your listeners are into energy or into the way things happen in the universe. I'm very
Mhm.
spiritual, not in the religious sense, but very much
Sure.
in like how energy moves. Just in the past 3 weeks, I've really dived into mindset. How
Mm.
can I just think the right way and see if my thinking is going to take me in the right action?
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm starting to just do the things that really help me out. And it's all self-care. We call it
Yeah.
self-care in this industry,
Yeah.
but it's really powerful. It's the things like waking up at a certain time, which
Mm.
is although it sounds really mundane, there's a lot of health benefits to actually waking up at the same time every single day. And I could go into that a little bit more.
I love.
It's finding quiet time. And a lot of people think quiet time is meditation, but it's even prayer if you are religious. It's
Mhm.
finding a way to think clearly. And people could do that either through journaling, through video,
Yeah.
doing this, through writing,
Mhm.
any way that you can get yourself to get this out here is going to be the best way that you could start manifesting.
Yeah.
And this year has been challenging because I went to this really high place, and then all of a sudden I had to figure out all this other stuff down here because I
Mm.
thought it was going to be just a clear progression upward, and got slapped in the
But
face.
we got to do those cycles, right, up and down. And
Yeah.
we talk about this all the time. You have day, you know, we need the day and the night for the balance. We need the sleep and we need the awake. We can't just continue to go high. But if you look at the trajectory, you probably started down here and then you up, you got smaller ups and downs, and then eventually have a big up, and then you can have a big down because what goes up must come down, but then you can make it go back up again.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
think I think it's all about intentions. It's very easy to slip backwards
Mm.
because it's whoa, this is way too uncomfortable, and then all of a sudden we start sabotaging it. I think and it doesn't have to be that way. It's very easy to go up and always go up, but it takes different decisions. And I think one of the biggest things that really helps out with decisions, which kind of gets into a lot of what I talk about with my company, is
Mm.
your gut health and being able to have your gut function really well because it impacts your brain health. I actually had Mark DeGrasse on
Oh,
my
nice.
podcast, and he's one of my clients, and he lost 17 pounds. But what he said is because I actually just did what you told me to do, I just
Mm.
ate the foods that you told me that my body said I should eat, but you said, hey, just take this test.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm thinking clearer. I feel more energy. You use this terms like I'm not such an asshole anymore
Yeah.
because and he was being funny in the sense that because he was so inflamed,
Yeah.
he didn't have compassion and the patience to do his job really well and deal with his people. But
Yeah.
now that he's much more calm and relaxed and his gut is not inflamed, now he's dealing with compassion and he's coming from a place of like his true purpose, which sounds crazy because he's already a pretty successful guy, but now now I know really where I want to go.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And that helps me understand and put pieces into places as well. Because I took that fit test myself. My chiropractor, he's also in functional medicine. He's like, hey, you need to take this fit test. You're inflamed. You got this going on. You make sure you're taking these vitamins. And so when I do get up on time and do that meditation and eat the right foods and take the right supplements to help my gut, then yes, it definitely makes for a really good time.
It starts the day right.
It
So if we
starts the
could,
day. That's it. There we
yeah,
go.
if we could win the morning, and this is not, everyone doesn't need to do it that way.
Right.
Adam is Adam. There's a few people that don't do it that way and are really
Mm,
successful. I am not that way. I have to do it my way, and I slowly go into the day, and
of
then
course.
all of a sudden I'm like speeding through it,
Yeah.
and it's getting better. This is for the entrepreneurs who are like, I'm trying to do it this person's way, and it's not working. This is when you have to go figure out your own
Yeah.
way, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden you'll be like, okay, yeah, I got it.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. So we've gone through your journey and how you got started with Occam's Fitness and what's kept you motivated, what's inspired you, the environment that enabled all of this to happen. Because when we surround ourselves with people who have better who has a better set of people around them, right? Positivity, they're thinking clearly, they're not wasting time on small talk, they're focusing on the personal development, the inner development. I think that's where we then start to absorb that and also embody that. And I love that you mentioned you talk about the energies that we all have because we all are electricity. When the heart stops working, what do? They clear,
Yeah.
shock that heart with the defibrillators
Hmm.
to bring it back to life because we are creating electricity and we are electric. That's our soul. So thank you for that, man. Appreciate it. I'm a huge proponent of energy as well, and it's been pretty awesome. There's something new that I've learned. I think last year, something called human design. It talks about the energetic types
Yep.
and which energy type we are and how we are in alignment or we're in misalignment and how that makes us feel. I see you shaking your head.
Oh yeah. No,
What are your
I've
thoughts on that?
I've dived into it as well. I can't remember if I'm a manifestor or a builder, but the idea behind it is that you have a certain personality type or a certain way that your spirit wants to manifest itself,
Yeah.
and you can definitely do it. And I look at that from not only the spiritual aspect of it, but
Yeah.
also the biochemical aspect of it, because for me, I want to learn how people manage stress, and because exercise is about stress, you have to figure out how they're going to manage and how they're going to recover. So, for listeners out there, this might be really good for you to know. One of the ways that I understand how people manage stress is a simple qualitative test called the Braverman test. Braverman.com, and basically what it is a test developed by a
Mm.
neurophysiologist, Eric Braverman, and he said that your personality is based on four different neurotransmitter types: dopamine, acetylcholine, GABA, and serotonin. Dopamine types are the leaders, and everyone's gonna raise their hand and be like, "I'm a leader."
I'm later.
They're also yeah, they're also probably 8% of the population. They're
Hmm.
not really that common. You could think of a dopamine type as, I can think of two people in athletics that were dopamine
Hmm.
type. If you ever watch football, way back in the day, there was a guy named David Boston who was a
Hmm.
wide receiver, really, really good wide receiver, but he was out of place because he was too big for the position. He loved dopamine. People love competition. They love intensity. They love
Mm.
to accomplish things. Those are dopamine types. Then you have your acetylcholine types. Those are the people that are very visual. They're very creative. They have great memories. They are really good at being a bit more social because they can remember all the faces and, oh, I don't know you. GABAs, which there are a lot of people who are GABAs. Those are the people who are quarterbacks, point guards, midfielders, centers in hockey. Those are the people who are directing people, which I think there are a lot more GABAs than most people know. Those are people like, hey, you do this, you do that. Tom Brady is a GABA. Everyone knows that. Serotonins are there are very few serotonins in the entrepreneurial world because they're more hippies. Like everything's all right, we'll just flow with it. That's a hippie. And then you have probably the large percent of the population, which is an Earth type, which is a blend of all of them. So
Okay.
when you look at human design, you have all these different types, but they do correspond a bit to the neurotransmitter types. So if you want
Okay.
to, you can go in there and type in bravermantest.com and take part one and part two, and you'll start to see your personality type, but also how you can fix your deficiencies in case you do
Mm.
have any, because not everyone has a brain that's working 100%. And if you think you do, just imagine what would happen if you actually fixed it to 100%.
Nice. Is that almost like the movie with Limitless?
Yeah.
Meh.
Do you know what the drug that was made off of?
What was it made up of?
Modafinil.
Mm.
Modafinil is a drug. It's available through prescription, and I've taken it. It's fantastic
Yeah.
because it works on all the different transmitters, because they use it for sleep as well. So you'll take it in the morning. So by the
Mhm.
time the day goes by, your brain is tired and it falls asleep really well. So people are like, oh, okay, it makes me more productive, but it works
Mm.
to help you fall asleep too. And basically, what it does is it heightens your prefrontal cortex, so that way you can actually work faster. But it's very easy to get hooked on it.
Of course. Of
Very easy
course.
because you're like, man, I feel so much slower without it. But modafinil is based off of the drug in Limitless, which I love that movie. That movie was fantastic.
That wasn't that big movie. That was a really good movie. Awesome. Man, this is so much fun. Got to learn about a lot of new things that I did not know about. That's the idea behind these episodes and bringing on guests from all walks of life, because we learn, as long as you're learning one or two things every single day, guess what's happening? You're getting better 1 or 2% every single day. And by the end of the year, you're not 365% better. It's a much bigger number. I wish somebody could tell us what that number is, because I haven't calculated yet.
I think I remember doing it. I think it's something like 1,700% better or something like that.
Okay.
1% better. I do this all the time. I'm always like,
We're doing a Google search right now. Hold on a second.
no, not 15%, 1% better every day. The master of art. Yeah, you're 37 times better. 37 times better. So 370% better.
Wow. 370% better you are at the end of the year. And man, that is some place to be. That the trajectory of going up and down is eventually taking you up to the top by the end of the year. So that's awesome. Thanks, Lanell. Dude, I am pumped. Cannot wait to cannot wait to hear the 3 hacks you've got for us. So before you give those up, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back. I'm Junaid Ahmed, host of Hacks and Hobbies podcast and a digital presence advisor at HumbleZone. This episode is brought to you by Home Studio Mastery. I launched a consultation and course program to help podcasters and course creators to create a space in their homes that will reduce the friction of creating content and appearing their best when showing up on camera. The pandemic gave us a lot of issues, but this one is here to stay. We're now so much closer to our audience thanks to video becoming more popular and affordable. I help guide folks who want to create Hollywood-worthy studios to not only capture great content, but also build more confidence, more authority, and be more comfortable in front of the camera. If I can do it, you can too. And with my help, you can do it faster. So if you'd like to learn more, visit homestudiomastery.com and how you too can create a home studio that brings out your personality, professionalism, and possibilities. Hey guys, welcome back. We've been talking with Lanell Beckles here on Hacks and Hobbies, and he's got 3 hacks to share. He mentioned that he has hacks galore, but we're all going to stick to The three
Three.
hacks. All right, go ahead, Lanell.
The first hack is actually getting a true gut health test. This is probably the easiest thing that everyone can do because no one has the same diet as everyone
Mm,
else. And actually certain foods can actually be more poison to you than it actually can be helpful to you. Many people are getting on the carnivore diet and the vegan diet and vegetarian, but for me, there's a lot of vegetables that actually don't really work well for me. For someone like Adam, who we know, beef and pork don't really work well for him at all. So he's, what do I eat? And we gave him more game meat, yak and venison, elk. He eats alligator.
okay.
So he has a pretty eccentric diet, but he loves it. He loves it. And if you ever want to get your brain back, fix your gut.
Man, that is really powerful. All right, next up.
You don't need to work out for an hour a day. That's probably the best thing. You can get by if you've been working out for a while, you can get by on twice a week. If you're just starting out and you haven't worked out for a while, you'll actually get results with twice a week. If you
So
want to
twice a
maybe
week, how many minutes?
honestly, the workout that I give people right now is 15 minutes. 15 minutes
Wow.
twice a week. And I'll give you the structure. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. So basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna separate half your body into one day and then half your body into the other day. If you do this really well, you will need 7 days to recover
Mm,
from the workout. And recovery is not being sore. Recovery is whether you actually increase the weight or not. So whether you
mm,
actually got better. So let's say the first day is going to be chest, back, biceps, and triceps. Then the
mm,
second day is going to be shoulders, quads, hamstrings, and butt. We'll just put it
mm.
that way. Every single exercise, you are going to do one set of 5 to 8 reps. The weight that you pick is going to be like 100% of your intensity. So you should hit failure on the eighth rep. If you hit more than eight, if you get more than eight, you're going to increase the weight.
Okay.
As soon as you finish with that set, as soon as you finish with that weight, you're going to drop the weight by 50% and you're going to do what's called the drop set,
Mm,
where all you're going to do is get as many reps as possible with that weight. So by the end of it, you should have gone from 8 reps to maybe 12 reps. And if you're feeling super randy, you could
mm.
do another drop set and you might get 8 reps. Between
Okay.
all of that, you got 20 reps all the way up to maybe even 30 reps in one set.
Mm.
And that's just one set. You don't do anything else. You go
Yeah.
to the next exercise. You finish each of those 4 to 5 exercises and you're done. The
Wow.
next time you enter the weight room, you're gonna do those same four to five exercises, but now you're gonna increase the weight by at least 10%, up to 10%, and you should be able to hit the same number. If you don't, just don't go down in weight. Just wait one more
Right.
week and then keep going. So by the end of 6 weeks, you should have gotten at least 20% better. So
Okay.
that's it's the simplest workout ever, and you will probably, if you fix your gut and do that workout, you'll probably change your body composition by 2 to 5%.
That's amazing. That is not just a hack. That's a whole workout plan right there.
Yeah, I actually give it to people. I have a little Facebook group,
Mm.
and I'll send it to you if you want me to. Two easy
Absolutely.
workouts. Yeah, two easy workouts. Actually, twoeasyworkouts.com. You can sign up and get into my Facebook, and I give you the template, and you can go
Nice.
do it anytime you want to.
I love it, man. We'll be sure to include the link in the show notes as well so people can jump on and
Dope.
join the group and start utilizing because I am the worst at working out. I used to cycle a lot back in 2017 and did 1,500 miles on my bike. And 2018, my goal was to hit 2,000 miles, but I had a new baby at the beginning of January. And ever since, I haven't done that many miles ever again. Of course, I also launched a podcast and even been doing a lot of other things.
Darn baby got into my life.
And then we created a
It's not the
podcast.
thing that you started. It's the thing that birthed. You're like,
That's
this
right.
baby
Yeah.
just ruined my life. No, I'm just kidding.
No, she is my awesome daughter, my only one. All right. So those were the three hacks. Number one,
Number one is gut health. Get a gut health test. Make sure you talk to somebody. If you need to, you can reach out. I have one that I go through, and it's really good. Number two is working out 15 minutes twice a week. No more, no more
No,
than that.
no more than that. Okay.
If you want more, you can do more. But for anybody who's, I would love to work out, I just don't have time, or it just takes too long. You have 30 minutes a week.
Wow.
The last one has to do with sleep.
Mm.
I hope a lot of people have really dived into sleep because even an entrepreneur can be like, I'll work into the night. Your production goes down the less sleep that you have. So you're just working on willpower. One of the best things that you could do for your sleep is just make your room really ideal for sleep. So that includes having really dark blinds so that way no light can get in. That includes having really cool room. So don't make it hot. Making sure that you maybe have a humidifier if you need it, which is really
Mm.
good. And then the last thing is, although this is probably the hardest thing to do for a lot of people, but it's probably the simplest hack you could do. No screen time, one
Mm.
hour before bed. If you
I
do
like that.
that, it'll be huge. And the reason why that is because the screens have the same light intensity as midday noon. So if you're watching your phone or watching something on TV at 9 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
your body is going to register, your brain is going to register that it's 12 o'clock in the middle of the day, and then by the
Mm.
time you hit bed, your brain is we're not tired yet.
It's not time. It's not time to sleep yet.
Not time to sleep. It's
I
one
like
o'clock. Let's
that.
go.
I like that. This is so good. So good. I need to send a message over to the other side of the panel. But yeah, no, those are some amazing hacks. We could talk so much more about gut health and everything, but let's jump into the sixth question I like to ask my guests.
Yeah.
I need to give it a name. Make it really fanfare, maybe for season 5.
Sheesh, what could you say? It could be this is the flash round.
This is a flash round. There we go. We created the name for the flash round.
Flash round, the speed round, speed question round.
Fast track round.
Fast track round is pretty cool.
All right, awesome. Let's jump right in. Number 1, what is the one hobby that you wish you got into?
Gymnastics. If
I'm trying to
my
get my daughter into it.
but that's the thing. It'll be easier for a girl to get into gymnastics than a guy or
Yeah,
than a boy. When my mother said you should do gymnastics, I walked in
yeah.
and saw a bunch of girls, and I was like, this is for girls. Later, I actually saw what a male gymnast looked like, and I was like,
Yeah.
why did I do
Why did
that?
I do it? Yeah. Yep. There's so much more to talk about in that area. But we're not going to. All right, number 2. What did you want to be when you were a child?
Spike Lee. Spike Lee is still
Okay.
one of my favorite people. I would
Yeah.
love to meet him one day. Spike Lee is a film director. He directed what has he did win a oh yes, he won an Academy for I want to say Black Klansman. He's a very polarizing figure. He does a
Hmm.
lot of racial narrative, but it's very well done. Spike Lee is probably most famously known for launching or making Michael Jordan really famous. And it's
Mm,
really is Nike commercials in the beginning.
there you go.
But
It's nice having
Spike Lee
those.
is probably that's who I want it to be.
I love it. All right, next up, what is your favorite movie or TV show?
Oh gosh, do I have to name one? See, I go from serious, which is like The Pursuit of Happiness with
Okay,
Will Smith,
Will Smith.
to Goofy, which is like Rick and Morty and SpongeBob SquarePants. Like
Okay.
that's my dichotomy.
All
Like I'm
right.
all over the map. If I want to be inspired, I will watch The Pursuit of Happiness, which
Mm,
I think it's an
it's an
incredible
amazing
story.
movie. It's an incredible
Amazing.
story for sure.
I'm sucked into it. I'm like, can anything else go wrong?
Yeah, and yes, it does.
And yes, it does. And then at the end of it, you see him like put his fist up and you start bawling.
Yeah,
My favorite.
I love it. All right, next question you're gonna love because what movie would you choose if you got to play a character in it?
What movie would I choose? It would be a superhero movie. I haven't seen Black Adam, but that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Maybe Blade. Oh, I would like to
Oh
be Blade.
yes,
I would.
Blade's coming back.
I would.
Wesley Snipes did an amazing job. It was a superhero movie before we.
Before Marvel superheroes.
Yeah, it was. It
Oh
was.
my gosh. And they just do him dirty. They don't even
Yeah.
tell him, oh, there's no black superheroes. I'm like, Blade was the
Blade
one.
was a superhero. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I would be Blade.
There you go.
Blade is
Love it.
yeah.
Next question is going to be in line because who is your favorite superhero?
I used to read all of his comics. I read a little bit of Spider-Man, but I
Yeah.
got into Doctor Strange and I'm like, "Oh my God, this guy is way too cool." Like
Yeah. He's
once that one came out, once Marvel came out with Doctor Strange, I was like, I gotta see. Like, I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah. And
That's
then they
that's my
did a
favorite.
really good job in the second one as well. It's really nice. All
It
right.
is so good.
It was so good. Yeah. I can watch it every day and yeah,
Yeah.
especially actually in what was it, the Infinity War or the End Game when
Yeah.
Hulk goes to talk to get the stone
Yeah.
and she just pushes Hulk out of the
Yep.
body. What are
Yep.
you talking about?
Yep. Yep. That's when he's powerful. When he can just like, no,
Yeah,
you're not gonna intimidate me.
exactly. Exactly. All right. Last up. If you were a board game, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. Uh, since I've moved to Austin to Bastrop, I've played more board games than I have in my entire life.
Turn it out.
The one I don't even know if it's a board game, it's more of a card game, but the one
Sure.
game that is really into now is Magic the Gathering, which I have learned that it is more complicated than poker
Yeah.
and takes a lot more strategy and thought and has a lot more iterations, which is
Hmm.
making me want to get into it more. So
I love it.
that would probably be it because I don't really know board games that much.
It's all good, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Love it.
And we'll be sure to include all the links on how to get in touch with you. You've got a Facebook group where you're giving away these 15-minute workouts twice a week. That's unlike anything else. Now that I know about it, I just might have to start going to the gym or buying a set of weights.
Yeah. Yeah. Weights are pretty inexpensive.
Yeah.
You can buy a decent set for $1,000 and
Yeah.
it's just two weights, like adjustable weights, $1,000, whole thing from 5 pounds all the way up to I believe you could get all the way up to 80.
80 pounds. Okay.
80 pounds and should cost you no more than like 700. Pretty
Okay.
cheap. And dumbbells, if you have a set of dumbbells you can do almost anything, and then you get one or two pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
If anybody wanted to reach out to me to ask me what equipment to get, I would be glad to let you know because
Awesome.
that's probably one of the most fun parts of building a gym is like, what am I gonna buy? It's
I
like,
know, right? It's the most
like
funnest part.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
I
like
want to spend
shopping.
money.
It's like shopping for women, except it's for men.
Hey, now you know why I love helping people start up studios
Dude.
because I get to pick out the gear that you're gonna
Dude,
put in your
like
studio.
my next studio, I'm calling you up, be like, hey man, let's do this. Let's make this really dope.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much again, Lanell, for your time and energy and your wisdom and the stories that you shared.
Thank
Chill.
you so much.
Till the next episode. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the episode. Thanks so much for listening to our guest on this episode. Please send me an email at junaid@hacksandhobbies.com to tell me what you loved about our guest today. You could find links mentioned in this episode on the hacksandhobbies.com website.